Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the United Star. We are going into game week 10 of FPL, and we've got Shivan here with us. First business, our mini league, the United Star mini league. KU's 11 is not only maintaining his lead at the top of the table, but also extending it. He's got 623 points now, getting 69 points this weekend, which is also above average, a very good performance there. But the most points this week was 86 points in our league, which is quite a haul this week, considering this week has been one of the most low scoring weeks there has ever been. Beyond has got 86 points, as you can see. Team Mahaha, I think that's, I don't know how do you pronounce that, but as you can see, he's got 86 points, which is quite amazing. But let's get into game week 10. Shivan, what are your views of what is going to happen this week? Who are the players you are looking out for, first of all?
So I think a lot of fantasy managers have a similar dilemma, as do I also have. Is Son and Kane are the two hottest players in the Premier League right now. They're scoring also fun. They both have 84 points, but they have three tough fixtures in the next five. They got Chelsea, Arsenal, Liverpool, and even Leicester after that. So the question we all have to ask ourselves is: do we keep Son and Kane in our teams, or do we get them out for the likes of Salah, De Bruyne, Sterling, or Vardy, who have good fixtures? So I think the best option probably would be to keep one of them and not keep both, because there are better options. And the key question you have to ask is, are you going to captain both of them? So are you going to captain Kane against Chelsea or Arsenal or Liverpool? And the answer probably would be no. You'd rather captain Vardy, you'd rather captain De Bruyne instead of Son. So that's the question you're going to be asking. And I think this week, even though I didn't transfer Son out last week because I had to remove Salah, I'm going to be transferring Son or Kane, one of them, out for other players this week.
Right. So I took Salison out last week, which obviously didn't work out that well for me because he was one of the higher point scorers, double digit haul again. But yeah, I completely agree with you. You need to remove one of them. Now, they face up Chelsea this week, like you've already
Yeah.
said. So let's touch a bit upon Chelsea. There's not much to talk about. I think all their forwards are in some terrific form, and you can get the likes of Werner and Ziyech in. But my question really is Mason Mount the differential to have from Chelsea? Because Ziyech seems to be putting in performances that make you go wow, but that doesn't necessarily translate to FPL points. But Mount always seems to get an assist or a goal and is much cheaper. He's much cheaper. So what do you think?
I don't think Mason Mount is an FPL option, to be honest. He's playing in that Lampard's playing sort of a 4-3-3 now, and he's playing more in a central midfield, which is like probably his best position. He's a very athletic player, and I think he'll start most games. Lampard already loves him, but I don't think he's gonna get those FPL returns. And at his price, there are so many better options we have. And I tend to agree with you about Ziyech, because I got Ziyech in 2 weeks ago before the Sheffield United game. But even though he looks great, he's not great from an FPL perspective. He's not near the goal. He's probably 40 yards away from goal, like playing those long balls, and he didn't have a single touch in the penalty box against Newcastle United. I know Werner almost squared the ball to him and he almost scored, but he didn't have a single touch in the box. So I think it's going to be the assister type of players. So I think the best option definitely is Timo Werner. He could have had a hat trick against Newcastle. He looked really electric, but for me, Mason Mount is right now not an FPL option.
Shivan, I completely agree with you, but with Ziyech, there's the thing, right? Because you say Werner could have had a hat trick, but Ziyech could have easily had two assists and a goal. If Werner would have got his hat trick, he'd have got the two assists. And if
Yeah.
Werner made that pass, he'd have got that goal as well. So I am a little torn on Ziyech. I have him in my team for now, but I am definitely considering him whether he should be an option. Let's talk about one player that sort of you've been saying is not reliable for his price. Bruno Fernandez seems to be delivering every single game.
Yeah, it's funny because if the penalty was saved and it wasn't retaken, it would be a -2. And within one penalty retake, it went from -2 to a 24 points, 22 points for captainers. So it, in a way, it was a lucky performance. I know he had a couple of assists, like he could have had a couple of assists also. Martial and Rashford missed a couple of good chances, but I think in the long run, United don't have nice fixtures in the next four games. They have Southampton away, they have two other away games, West Ham away, and they have City at home. So I don't think those are great games. And United are the most reliable attacking team compared to, I'd say, City, Chelsea, and Liverpool. They are more reliable in terms of attacking points. Yes, Bruno Fernandes will be on the end of some returns, some penalties mostly, but I trust De Bruyne, Salah, or a Werner more than I trust Bruno Fernandes. If you have him in your team, I'd keep him, but I'm not going to be bringing him in after for this run.
Interesting. That's an interesting
Also,
perspective
just an
because
interesting fact: if you look at non-penalty expected goals and assists, Bruno Fernandes ranks 27th in the league for non-penalty goals and assists. Yes, he gets penalties and United get a lot of penalties, but other than that, he doesn't have a great numbers. He's probably an outlier where he overperforms his numbers, but based on the stats, he isn't that reliable a pick, in my opinion.
interesting. You spoke about Kevin De Bruyne. Manchester City take on Burnley. These are two teams I wanted to talk about. Burnley seem to have found their Sean Dyche mojo back, and they seem like they are not going to concede come what may. Nick Pope
Yeah.
making that fantastic save in the last few minutes the other day, and Man City. I haven't yet seen much from them in terms of that says that, oh, the Man City of old is back. So what would you do? Would you bring Kevin De Bruyne in? Because this season statistics alone, Kevin De Bruyne's statistics are not particularly good.
Yeah, it's a dilemma all FPL managers are facing. Do you trust the form or do you trust the fixtures? So on paper, they have the easiest three of the next four fixtures. You have Burnley home, Fulham at home, and West Brom at home. You
Hmm.
can't ask for three better home fixtures, and you'd probably captain a City asset in all those three games. So as FPL managers, we have to gamble on whether we think that they'll come into form in these three games, and these will be three easiest games for them to perform, or they'll continue with their scoring woes. I think they've only scored 5 goals out of the last 6 games, which has never happened under Guardiola before. And I think something is missing from the attack. Maybe with Jesus and Aguero coming back, it's a sign of improvement because they could have scored 2-3 goals against Tottenham. Like they were unlucky with the Jesus handball, and they had a couple of good chances against Tottenham. So I think I'm gonna get one City player in. It's either Sterling or De Bruyne. I'm just not sure which one yet. I think De Bruyne is not going to Europe this week, so he might be the one to come in to my team for Son this week.
My problem is that De Bruyne started playing somewhat a deeper role in midfield. So he's sort of now, in a way, he's doing what Paul Scholes used to do, where he's, dictating the passes more than providing the assist. So I'm not sure as to whether I'd be willing to. In fact, I feel De Bruyne is a more risky choice than Bruno Fernandes. For one simple reason is that City, even if they get 5 goals, you can't be sure that De Bruyne will be involved in it. If United get 5 goals, you can be sure that if United get even 2 goals, you can be sure that there's a 70-80% chance Bruno has been involved in either an assist or a goal, the way things are going at Man United this year. So that is why I'm not too sure about paying that much for a Kevin De Bruyne or a Raheem Sterling. I do understand the temptation, sort of the sort of historically, City is the high flying team in FPL, 100
Yeah.
goals in 2 seasons. So obviously, there's no denying that. But this is my rationale behind it, and I'm not very comfortable bringing them in against Burnley because I said they've really picked up form. So yeah, now two transfers that I think managers are looking at this week. One is the managers who removed Mo Salah. What do they do? Do they bring Mo Salah back straight into the team? It does seem like he's tested negative. It seems like he'll start Brighton for sure. And the second transfer is probably the easiest fixture of the week. Leicester City taking on Fulham. So would you bring Jamie Vardy in for this week? Maybe take Kane out for Vardy?
Yeah, so I'm facing these two dilemmas as well. I removed Salah last week for out of my team, and I was considering Vardy for this week. So with Mo Salah, I think the question you have to ask is Liverpool play Wednesday night, and then they play Saturday early morning, 12:30 p.m. England time. I think 6 o'clock India time. So will if Mo Salah say starts against Atalanta, will he be rested for that Brighton game because they now have Diego Jota? They have a able replacement for him. If say he only plays 20 minutes, we'll find out tonight. This will probably go out on Thursday. If he plays 20 minutes, then we know for sure he's going to start against Brighton. And Brighton are the sort of team who play like a really expansive style of football. They like to play out from the back. And that means Salah will get chances. I think last year in the restart, he got some 19 points against them. He got 2 goals and an assist. So if he's going to start, I'm probably going to get him straight back into my team. For Jamie Vardy, he also has a really nice run. I think Fulham were terrible against Everton defensively. Like they looked all over the place, and Calvert Lewin scored like 2 goals. So I see Vardy playing a similar role, and I think he's the best captaincy option this week. So it's a toss up between Salah, De Bruyne, and Vardy this week. I'm going to get two of them in. The
Right,
question is which two.
right.
So I think right now I'm leaning towards Salah and De Bruyne, but I'm not sure yet.
Right. So I personally already brought Vardy in last week. I didn't take Salah out. The transfers didn't particularly work out for me because the players I took out in the likes of Heung-min Son and Robertson ended up doing very well. But I'm actually very happy with them because those are one-off fixtures. I maybe have made the transfers 1 week earlier, but the
Yeah.
players I got in, which is the likes of Vardy, I got in Ziyech, which I'm not sure about. I got in. So these players have much easier fixtures coming up now. But anyway, let's move on to one final thing I want to talk about is Aston Villa. Is the I asked this last time? Is the honeymoon period now well and truly over? Is it time to? Some people have got defenders from Aston Villa, and is it time to get rid of those defenders, or is you just stick with them because they will come good at some point again?
So in terms of Aston Villa defenders, I'm actually not too keen on them because underlying numbers aren't quite good. I think in the last 4 games, they're in the top 5 for expected goals conceded. But from an attacking point of view, if you have the likes of Watkins or Grealish in your team, I'd stick with them because they have a really nice run of fixtures. I think they don't play a top 6 team for the next 6 to 7 games. So that's a nice, easy run. But against Brighton, they particularly struggled because once Jack Grealish left, once Barkley went off injured, Grealish moved to the center where he's not as effective in the game. And then Bertrand Traore was kind of slowing the game down, and he took some set pieces off Grealish. So, and I think teams were doubling up on Grealish. Brighton were doubling up on Grealish, and he wasn't that effective, and he couldn't create that many chances. That's why even Watkins didn't get that enough service. But he could have had a penalty as well. So I think it's a one-off failure for Aston Villa this week, and I'm expecting them to come good in the next coming weeks. From an attacking point of view, defensively, I think there are better options in terms of McCarthy or Lamptey or even the Burnley defense.
Right, interesting. So you've already said your number one captaincy choice this week probably is Jamie Vardy against Fulham. Who else are you considering?
So there's 3 main captaincy shouts. It's Jamie Vardy against a terrible Fulham defense. It's Kevin De Bruyne, in my opinion, against Burnley, or it's Mohamed Salah or Sadio Mane. Sorry, against Liverpool, against Brighton. I think my top captaincy option is Vardy, but I don't think I'm going to get him in because I want Keane in my team. So I'm probably going to get in Mohamed Salah and captain him.
Right. So I personally have Vardy, I have Salah, like I said, and I think even the Everton players. I think DCL might be a good shout against the Leicester team that seems to be conceding quite a few goals. So I'm gonna pick between these three, but I think I might lean towards Vardy because that. I mean, if Vardy doesn't score against Fulham, I'd be mightily shocked if he doesn't get at least one goal against this Fulham team. It seems
Yeah.
like Fulham are conceding left, right, and center, and somehow things just don't break for them. So yeah, I completely agree with you there. A far field, sort of an extremely far field option that I was considering is in the Crystal Palace and Newcastle game. Now that Palace have lost the likes of Wilf Zaha, could you potentially think of someone like a Callum Wilson if he's fit to captain him? Because it seems like everything that Newcastle do goes through him. So maybe if he can get a goal or two, that could be an extremely far field option. But it's not something I'm considering since I already transferred him out anyway. But yeah, so these are our thoughts, guys. You've heard what we think. We do think that the big hitters, and Shivan at least thinks the big hitters in Man City are going to eventually turn up, and this is the best run of fixtures where they can do that. Jamie Vardy, of course, he is probably Premier League's Mr. Reliable in terms of getting goals. He just gets a goal somehow. Doesn't matter if he plays for 90 minutes or 20 minutes. Obviously, that wasn't true for the Liverpool game where we all thought he's probably going to get a goal looking at that Liverpool defense, but Leicester didn't stand a chance in that game. But
Yeah.
let's see what happens, guys. Promises to be an interesting game week. There are quite a few easy fixtures, some tricky ones. Chelsea, Tottenham, of course, the highlight. Arsenal, Wolves, another tricky one. Southampton, United could get interesting. Southampton play a game that Man United don't like particularly, so it could get interesting there. And West Ham, Aston Villa, actually, one of the lesser games is very interesting. The likes of Jack Grealish, Thomas Suchek, all these sort of FPL low budget players in that involved in that game. So let's see what happens, guys. Check out our United Star Mini League if you haven't joined it. The links are in the description. Do join it. If you win, you do get a T-shirt of your choice, a jersey of your choice at the end of the season. And we hope to see you soon. And let's see what happens. Let us know your captain choices. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to the channel.
Hey guys, thank you so much for watching our video. If you do like it, please click on the thumbs up and please subscribe to our channel. Click on the bell icon to get daily notifications from the United Star. Follow us on Instagram at the.United Star, and we will see you soon.